Hi there, welcome to today's practice. My name is Lauren Marples and I'm delighted to be guiding you through today's flow. In today's class, you might need a block or two, so just have them somewhere near your mat. And I'll leave options for alternatives just in the description below. You might also need a cushion or a blanket for underneath your knees or in your Shavasana, so just getting those ready and have them near your mat. We're starting today in child's pose, so coming onto your hands and knees, moving your knees out to the edges of your mat for a wide child's pose, or if it's more comfortable, taking a narrow child's pose with your knees closer together. Walk your hands out to the front of your mat, dropping your head down towards the ground or towards your block. And we'll just stay here. So starting to open up through the hips, starting to connect with our breath. So breathing in through the nose, allowing your tummy to move down towards the ground. And then on your exhale, draw the tummy back in towards the spine. Maybe feeling this extra heaviness or added heaviness as you breathe out. Inhaling once again. Do you feel more space in the abdomen, in the legs? And then on your exhale, we release the breath out, and along with our breath out, we're releasing the body towards the ground. So just taking a couple more breaths here, breathing in, nice long slow breath in. And then exhaling, letting that breath go. Slow breath in, well done. Long breath out. Taking two more here together. And then just thinking about an intention for your practice. So I always like to start off by asking myself the question, why did I come onto my mat today? Why am I here? This question is very grounding. It allows you to really connect with right now on your mat. What's your reason for being here? Why did you decide to show up? So what's your intention? What's the intention behind practicing today? And then starting to make your child's pose a little bit more active. So we lift our head off the mat, come up onto your fingertips, walk our fingertips forward, press your hips backwards as we pull and walk our fingers forward, finding a little bit more space along the side body. Maybe you feel a deeper sensation through the hips as you push the hips backwards. And then starting to walk your hands over towards the right side. So you can stay up on your fingertips or stay on your palms, and you're bringing your left hand over your right if it feels comfortable to do so. Pulling your left hip back towards that left heel. And maybe see what it feels like to open the left shoulder up towards the sky. And then on your exhale, drop the left shoulder back down towards the ground. So just creating these subtle twists through the upper body. Inhale, opening the left shoulder up. And then exhale, dropping your left shoulder right down to the ground as far as it'll go. One more time. Inhale, opening it up. Exhale to lower it down. And then walk your hands back to center, breathing in. On your exhale, we walk our hands over towards the left side. Once again, either being on your fingertips or your palms, or taking your right hand over your left. Squaring off the shoulders. If you liked doing that movement on the last side, take your right shoulder up towards the sky. And on your exhale, drop it back down. Inhale, opening the heart space towards the front of your mat. Exhale, closing it down. One more time. Inhale, come back to center. Walk your hands forward. Take your knees onto the ground, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. On your inhale, drop your tummy down, arch your back. And then exhale, rounded spine. Chin tucks into your chest. Inhale to arch. Exhale as you round. Middle back to the sky. Let's go 2 or 3 more breaths here. Breathing in, lifting out of your shoulders, lifting your heart space forward as you breathe out, rounding your back. Moving with your breath, maybe closing your eyes just for the last breath to really feel the sensations in the back body. Neutralizing your spine, walk your hands back towards your knees. Your toes are tucked, so we're finding this kneeling position. Take your hands back behind you and then leaning back, taking the knees maybe a little bit off the ground, maybe a little bit more. So finding some length in the shins, in the ankles, the tops of the feet. And then taking your knees back to the ground. Hands interlace behind the back. Pull your arms down on your inhale. So we lengthen and lift up through the heart space. Bring the shoulders back. Option to stay here, or we're starting to fold forward. So similar to our child's pose, this time with our knees together. And you can either keep your hands towards the back or you're lifting your hands up overhead. Palms together or palms apart. Just see what it feels like. Keeping your chin right in towards your chest, right in towards the knees. And then lowering your hands back to your lower back. Inhale to lift up. Drop your left hand to the ground behind you. You can take your block underneath the hand if the ground feels far away. Take an inhale, lift your right hand to the sky. And on your exhale, take your right hand to the outside of your left knee, using it to help you turn your chest towards the left. Maybe looking over your left shoulder this time. So gently twisting towards the left side of your mat. Feel free to look behind you or look towards the left side. And then inhale back to center, right hand behind, left hand onto the outside of your right knee this time. Every time we breathe out, we're thinking about a little bit more depth in our twist. Come back to center on your inhale, starting to rotate into your wrists. And then coming in the opposite direction. Perfect. Drop your hands down to the ground, tuck your toes. We're at the back of our mat. We're going to lift up into a forward fold. So walk your hands back towards the feet. Feet can be together, feet are hip width distance apart, and just starting to pedal out your legs. So bending one knee at a time, maybe rocking your head or nodding it. Feel free to dangle your arms or you're holding on to opposite elbows. Nodding your head yes, perhaps, shaking it no. And then unraveling, coming up to stand, nice and slowly, keeping your back rounded until you arrive at the top. Take your hands up overhead, breathing in, lifting up. Looking up on your exhale, folding forward. Bend your knees, relax your head. Inhale, walk your hands forward into a plank. And then on your exhale, come down all the way to the ground. Untuck your toes, feel free to bring your feet a little bit wider. Inhale, find your cobra, low cobra or extended cobra. And then on your exhale, come back down. One more time, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower back down. Bring your feet together if you widen them, tuck your toes, lifting up into downward facing dog. Looking back towards the feet, maybe for this first downward facing dog, pedaling out the legs. Feel free to move your hips from side to side, or move your head, or move your shoulders, whatever feels good to move, or staying in a still downward facing dog if that feels better for you. And then from here, coming right up onto your tippy toes, look forward, walk to the top of your mat. So maybe coming up to the fingertips or walking your hands slightly further forward as you arrive to the front. Inhale, lifting up halfway, straightening through the spine. Take your hands somewhere onto your legs. And then exhale, slide your hands down your legs as you fold forward. Inhale, doing the same thing, coming up halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Last time, inhale, coming up halfway. This time, take your hands towards your heart center and either bringing your hands onto your blocks or keeping them here in prayer hands in front of your heart space. Step your left foot back. Warrior 3, starting to balance on your right foot, take your left leg off the ground. If the left foot wants to drop down and you might like to keep the toes on the mat, that's perfectly fine as well. So staying here, leaning the weight into your right leg, looking at your drishti underneath your nose, find that focal point and see if you can create a bit more space between the crown of the head and the left toes. Take a breath in. On your exhale, gently step your left foot to the back of your mat. Drop your left knee towards the ground. And then drop your left hand to the ground as well. Inhale, bring that right hand forward. Exhale, circle the right hand back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, circle it back. Inhale, circling it forward. Well done. Exhale, circle it back. Take your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Step your right knee to meet your left. And then tucking your toes, walk your hands back towards your knees. So we're going to just strengthen into your toes a little bit. Open up into the backs or the soles of the feet. So finding a little bit more space here. And in times of discomfort, we find our focal point, our focus. So it can be your breath. So just concentrating on steadying the breath, elongating it. And we can focus on our drishti. So finding a spot at the top of our mat. Nothing in this world matters. Just you, just your mat, just this drishti, just your breath. As we stay here for a little bit longer, relax the shoulders. Relax the face. Well done. And then we'll start to take the knees off the ground. So in a similar way to before, so that we end up balancing on the toes. This time take your hands towards the outsides of the knees and then roll the weight towards the back of your mat. So your knees come off the ground, your toes are on the floor. You might like to keep your hands on the ground, or you might like to take your hands towards your knees, or maybe you're bringing them towards your heart center. And we stay here, hugging the legs together. Find that drishti, find that focal point. Steady your breath. Think about that intention you set at the start of the class. What was your reason for being here today? And then thinking about this new question, how would I like to feel after my shavasana as I go back into my day, or start my day, or end my day, whatever time of day it is for you. One more breath here. Deep, long breath in. Slow breath out. Take your hands to the ground. Drop your knees to the floor. Step your left foot forward this time. And then right hand comes down to the ground. Inhale, left hand comes forward. Exhale, circle it back. Inhale to bring it forward. You can follow your thumb with your gaze. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Well done. One more time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Drop your left hand to the ground. This time we come up into warrior 3 on this side. So tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Either drag your right foot slightly further forward or take it off the ground from where it is. Bring your hands towards your heart center or towards your blocks. Look underneath your nose towards that drishti. And then find length and space between your head and your right foot. Drop your right hip down if you feel like it's lifting. Push and lift up out of that left hip as well. Take a breath in. Drop your right foot down next to your left on your breath out. Find your half lift with your hands either on the ground or on your shins. And then exhale, folding forward. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale for plank. Come all the way down or come halfway down through Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck your toes. On your inhale, find your back bend. Roll your shoulders back. Push your heart space forward. And then flip your feet over into downward facing dog as you exhale. Feet are hip width distance apart. Bend your knees, push your hips up and back. Feel free to stay here in downward dog for 3 breaths, or maybe you're taking a child's pose or tabletop position. Looking forward, on your inhale, right leg lifts towards the sky, breathing into it. And then exhale, knee to nose, look forward, step your right foot forward. Keep your left hand as it is, reach your right hand forward, breathing in. And then exhale, send the right hand back. This time, circle your right hand forward. Move your right foot over towards the edge of your mat, so almost like this lizard stance, and turning your right toes out towards the side. So inhaling here once again. On your exhale, send your right hand back. Option to come onto the outside edges of both feet, dropping your hips down to the ground as you reach back. Inhale, come back into that easy twist. So feet find the floor again, soles of the feet, the toes. And then exhale, coming onto the outer edges of your feet. So you might like to wiggle your right foot further down towards the back of your mat to create a bit more space in the hips. One more time, inhale forward, lift your right hand. And then exhale, outer edges of the feet if it feels comfortable to do so. Inhale, easy twist. On your exhale, drop your left knee to the ground. Keep your right hand lifted, breathing in. Exhale, reach the right hand back. This time it feels comfortable. You're bending into that left knee, bringing it towards the hand. Inhale, lengthen, right hand up, left leg drops. And then exhale, reach back. One more time, inhale up and drop. And then exhale, reach back. Maybe this time we hold onto the foot with the hand. You can open up your right hip a little bit more by coming onto the outer right foot and opening your right knee to the ground. And we send our hips, that left hip towards the ground, towards the front of our mat. Taking a breath in. On the exhale, maybe we bring the left foot a little bit closer towards the back of that left leg. And then starting to come out of it, drop your left foot to the ground. Bring your right foot into the center of our mat. Take your right hand towards the outside of it. Tuck the back toes, lift your back knee, hop your left foot slightly more forward, and then push your hips towards the back of our mat, finding our pyramid. So this is maybe where your blocks come in again. We might like to take our blocks on either side of that right foot and then lifting our heart space forward. So finding length between your sit bones and the crown of that head of yours, the top of your head. So bring the right hip back, left hip forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, folding over the right leg. And just taking one more breath here. Exhale. Option to keep your right hand on your block if you're using one, or take your right hand onto your shin, or the inside of your right foot, or onto your right foot, or your big toe. And then using your left hand to open your heart space towards the left. Trikonasana, bring your left hand to the sky. Find your balance here, reaching up with that left arm, turning your hips more and more towards the sky. You can look up towards the left thumb or up towards the ceiling. And then looking towards the ground, take your hands towards the floor. Step back into your plank. Move through your vinyasa. Untucking your toes. Inhale, find your back bend. And then exhale for tabletop position. So bringing your hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the right hand to the sky. And then exhale, thread the needle. Bring your right hand through the space between your left hand and your left knee. Drop your right cheek towards the ground. You can push into your left hand. Maybe we stay here. Maybe we take the left arm forward, straightening it out. Or bringing the left arm behind you, bringing it onto the lower back, or maybe towards the top of that right thigh. And using your right arm to help twist you in the direction of the sky. Left hand finds the floor. Right hand finds the floor. Find your tabletop position again. And then left hand lifts towards the ceiling, breathing in. On your exhale, threading your needle. Drop your head down. Again, adjusting or taking a variation with that right hand that feels good for you. Maybe behind the back, maybe onto the top of your left thigh, maybe straight in front of your head. And then we continue to pull our right shoulder back, looking towards the left thumb. Well done. Bring your right hand to the ground. Left hand to the ground. Tuck your toes. Lift up into downward facing dog. Readjust your feet if you need to. And then bringing the feet together, this time lifting your left leg to the sky, breathing in. On your exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Look forward. Step your left foot forward. Keep your right hand where it is. Lift your left hand towards the front of your mat, breathing in. Moving your left foot over towards the edge of your mat. Turning your left toes out and then taking your breath in. On your exhale, reaching back. Maybe this time we come onto the outer edges of the feet. Inhale, coming back forwards. Readjust your feet, reposition your feet. And then on your exhale, circle your hand back. One more time. Inhale, reposition your feet. Exhale, circle them back. Inhale, bringing the hand back towards the front of your mat. Drop your back knee. And then on our exhale, bend your right knee as you reach back. Inhale forward, drop the foot. And then exhale, circle it back. Perhaps you tap. Inhale forward, drop the right leg. And then this time, perhaps we hold onto the foot. Feel free to open up that left knee using the shoulders to help you with this twist. You can look behind you. You can look towards that left knee if you'd like to. If it's not comfortable to hold on to the right foot, option also to push into that left knee, opening it out instead. Either keeping your right leg lifted, active, or dropping it towards the ground. And then readjusting your feet, dropping the right foot down, bring your left foot onto the ground, and then wiggle your left foot in between the hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step your right foot forward, option to take your blocks under each hand. Inhale, heart space comes forward, lengthening through your spine, and then on your exhale, perhaps folding forward over that left leg. Tuck your chin. Look towards your left toes. Lengthen the spine. Lengthen your heart space towards the left toes. From here, start to come into Trikonasana, either by keeping your left hand on your block or finding another position. And you can either keep your right foot where it is. You might like to create a bit more space between the feet. You might like to turn your right toes out as we lift our right hand up towards the sky. So send your hips towards the right side of the mat this time. Bring your right shoulder back without taking your right hand back. So we're just using the shoulders like in our twist. In our kneeling twist towards the start of our class, we used our shoulders to help turn our chest. And then looking down to the ground, frame your front foot with your hands. Step back into your plank. Move through your vinyasa. Untuck the toes. Find your back bend, breathing into it. And then exhale, drop your knees. Come into tabletop position. And we come into melting heart pose. So bringing your hands forward, puppy pose. Take a breath in. On your exhale, drop your elbows down. Heart space down, forehead or chin down. And then we'll take a couple of breaths here, option to grab hold of the top of your mat. So each breath that passes, we drop our heart space towards the ground. Your hips are going to be up over the knees, so try not to have them too far forward or too far back. And you're pulling your tummy or pushing your tummy in the direction of the thighs. And then we'll start to come out of it. Come back onto your forearms. Walk your hands back underneath the shoulders. Take a breath in. On your exhale, starting to bring your whole body down towards the ground. And then taking a sphinx pose. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Pull your hands back towards the elbows, back towards the back of your mat, lifting up out of your shoulders. So rather than dropping into the shoulders, lift up out of them. We press our hips into the floor, finding our sphinx pose. So once again, maybe you open your feet out a little bit wider. Heart space coming towards the front of our mat. Well done. We move from Sphinx pose to Leaping Frog pose. You can either stay up on your elbows or you can drop onto your heart space depending on how this next pose feels. So the right hand is going to stay where it is, either straight or bringing it towards that left corner of your mat. Bend your left knee, reach back with the left hand, holding onto the foot, and then pressing the foot towards the back of your left leg. So staying here, or we're starting to turn the elbow up towards the sky, having the heel at the top of your toes and your fingers of that left foot down towards that left heel. Taking a breath in, pushing out of your elbow if you're on it. Lifting up through your heart space, send your heart space forward. On the exhale, allow your heel to come towards the back of your left leg a little bit more. Keep pressing your hips down into the ground, breathing in. And then exhale, maybe you bring your left foot towards the back of your left leg. One more breath here. Release your left foot. Swap hands, right leg bends this time, reach back towards it. And then bringing the right foot towards the back of your right leg. Take a breath in. Push your hips down. On your exhale, bring your heel towards the back of your right leg. Inhaling here. Exhaling here, well done. Each time we exhale, maybe there's a little bit more space for the right foot to come down towards the ground. And then starting to release your right leg. Take your heart space to the ground. You can bend your knees and just give them a little movement from side to side. And then we're going to come into bow pose. So option for active bow pose, where we reach back towards the feet without holding on to the ankles and take your heart space off the ground, take your knees off the ground. Otherwise, holding on to the feet or the ankles and either pointing the toes or flexing the feet. Staying here, breathing in. On your exhale, kick your feet into your hands, take your heart space off the ground. Push the feet into the arms. Take a breath in. On your exhale, stay here. Inhale one more time. And then exhale, release. Take your hands next to your chest. Come onto your knees. And then we'll come onto our bums, taking the legs out in front of us. Feel free to take a cushion underneath your bum. And then just bringing your feet, your soles of your feet together, drop your knees down towards the ground. So option to take your knees underneath blocks or just have them opening out in their own way. Hands on your shins or interlace the fingers in front of your toes, lifting up through your heart center on your breath in. And then exhale, folding forward. So bringing your heart space towards the front of our mat. Bring your sit bones towards the back of your mat. Exhale, allow your heart space to drop down. Option to keep your elbows either towards the inner thighs, the inner calves, or maybe you're walking your hands forward towards the front of your mat. And we also have this massive strength in our legs, so we can use the strength to bring our knees down towards the floor. And then walking your hands back towards you. Straighten your right leg, keep your left foot as it is, breathing in with your hands on either side of your right leg. Exhale, folding forward. Either keeping your hands on the ground or taking your hands somewhere onto the right leg. Think about your heart space, lengthening the whole way over the right leg towards the toes. So it's guiding your back in that direction as well. And then walk your hands back towards you. Straighten your left leg, bend your right knee. Hands frame your left leg. Take a breath in. Exhale, folding forward. Walk your hands back towards you. Remove your cushion. Take your knees towards your chest, holding perhaps onto the backs of your legs, just to guide the toes. An option to keep your hands there behind the legs or take them towards the front of your mat with your toes off the ground. Starting to lift your feet off the ground, look towards your toes. Option to stay here with your legs parallel to the mat or starting to straighten out the legs, looking towards your toes. Pull your heart space up towards the toes. Bring your tummy towards the thighs. Well done. Keep looking at your drishti, your toes. Find your balance here in your boat pose, Navasana. And then take a breath in. On your exhale, lower down to low boat. So straight legs, lower your back. And then inhale once again for high boat, maybe with bent knees, maybe with straight legs. On your next exhale, lower down to low boat. And then inhale for high boat. Well done. One more time. Exhale for low boat. Inhale, lift up for high boat. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Relax your head. Relax your shoulders. We're going to bend our knees. Bring the outer right ankle onto the top of your left knee. Just push the right knee away from you for supine pigeon. And then taking your left knee in towards your chest. So you can keep your left foot on the floor if you like, or you're lifting it off the ground. Maybe holding on to the back of your left leg if it feels comfortable to do so. And maybe just seeing what it feels like to move the knees from side to side. So this really subtle, gentle movement, left knee towards the right, towards the left. Well done. Release the hands. Take your left foot to the ground. Take your right foot to the ground. This time taking your outer left ankle onto the top of your right knee. Push your left knee away from you. Staying here. Or maybe reaching with the knees, pulling them towards the chest, holding on to the back of your right leg with your hand or hands. And then staying here for a moment. Option to move your knees from side to side. Or stay in a still supine pigeon pose. Uncross the legs, bring your right foot and your left foot towards the ground. We're going to come into a bridge pose, so taking your hands on either side of your hips. Press through the feet, inhale, lift your hips towards the sky. Option to stay here, or maybe you'd like to come up into wheel pose by taking your hands next to your ears with the fingertips pointing towards the shoulders. lifting up onto the crown in the head, and then continuing to lift up into your wheel. If you're in wheel, press your feet into the ground, so you send your heart space towards the back of your mat. In bridge, we lift up through our hips, through our heart space, through our tummy. We'll stay for 3 more breaths here. And then we're going to come back down. From here, take your knees in towards your chest. Hug your shins or hug the backs of your legs. Rocking from side to side. Maybe taking your head off the ground. Bringing your knees towards your head towards your knees. Maybe touching your knees off your brows or off your forehead or kissing your knees. Thank you. And then coming into your Shavasana. So option to have your legs straight or your knees bent. Maybe you're taking a bolster if you have one available to you underneath the backs of your knees. And then option to take your blanket over you as well. Relax your shoulders down. Relax your arms. There's nothing left to do here. Closing down the eyes if you haven't done so already. Encouraging your heart space to lift towards the sky on your inhale and then fall back down on your exhale. Shavasana means corpse pose. And we're invited in corpse pose to find the stillness. Notice sensations, notice the breath, notice the sounds around you. And rest in our true essence, our true nature. Feel free to stay here for a little bit longer. So if you'd like to stay longer in Shavasana, just pausing the practice and resuming it when you're ready to come out of it. If you're ready to come out, bending the knees, moving your knees from side to side, either windscreen or maybe you've got your feet off the ground. Wiggling your fingers, moving your toes maybe, and then coming onto your side, rolling over. From there, we slowly start to lift back up into a seated position. And then from our seated position, taking your palms in front of your heart center, breathing in. As we exhale, take your chin down towards your fingers. Thank you yourself for joining this practice, for moving your body today, for breathing in the conscious way that you have, for expanding that lung space, your breath capacity, and the quality of your breathing. Thanking the space you get to practice in, your props for supporting your practice. The practice of yoga for existing so we can share this experience together today. Blinking your eyes open, raise your gaze. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you feel a little bit better and are ready to end your day or start your day, whatever time of day you're practicing. Thank you so much. I'll see you in our next practice from Rio and me.